Jeremiah is always a wonderful one to read after because he has such a tender heart. He loved the Lord. He's commonly called the weeping prophet, and has such wonderful things to say. And God, allow us to see these things. So let's go to Jeremiah 29 and 11. And the title, I suppose, is God Makes and Gives Opportunity. So that's our theme or title. So Jeremiah 29 and verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall you call upon me, you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And you shall seek me, is the creator of all things, who has all power, all knowledge, everything we can imagine. What does Jeremiah tell us? What does the Lord tell us through Jeremiah? He says, for I know the thoughts that I have toward you. Now that's an interesting thing to think, isn't it? Now you think about people that you know or people that know you. What are their thoughts? What are their intents toward you? You have people that truly love you. A good parent loves their child, wants good things for their child. Now, every parent I know makes mistakes. They might not do it exactly right, but what is their intent? What are their thoughts? Their thoughts is, I want good things for you. I want you to have a better life than me. I want you to be happier than me, right? I want these good things toward you. And what does God say about us? It says, I know the thoughts I have toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace. Oftentimes people present God in two manners. Oh, God is love and flowers and puppy dog tails and blah, 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 blah. Or they're like, God is mean. He's sending you to hell. He's doing this. But what does God say? God says, I have thoughts of peace. What does God want with you? He wants to be in harmony with you. He wants to love you. He wants to care for you. He wants to provide for you. That's what God says. Because it says, verse 10, thus saith the Lord. It doesn't say, thus saith Jeremiah. It says, thus saith the Lord. I'm going to tell you, if you really think about that, that should make you happy. That should make you encouraged. That should make you think, boy, I can handle anything. Why? The creator of all things, the one who has all power, says, I have thoughts of peace about you. Man, I hope you like me. When I come here and I say, oh, I like y'all. I think y'all are great. I think y'all are good people. Boy, I really like you. I hope you think, well, he's all right. You don't think, oh, that's a terrible person. What's wrong with him? You just think, well, he might be a little off, but at least he really likes it. Well, how much more so is it that God says that? God himself says, I have thoughts of peace and not of evil. Sometimes you've heard it. You may have even thought, oh, why is God punishing me? Right? Things go hard. Something's really hard. And life is hard. And things that are so difficult happen, right? And our reaction is to kind of strike out and this and that. But what does God say? He says, I'm not looking to hurt you. I'm not of evil. I'm not looking to hurt you. I'm looking to love you. We should grasp that. That should be what we hold on to when things are tough. It's easy to love anybody and anything when times are good. Oh man, anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. But what about when things are hard? And things are always hard. I don't care what age you are. When you're young, it's hard. What am I going to do? What do people think about me? How is this going to turn out? Where am I going? Where am I going to live? Who am I going to live with? Am I going to have children? Am I going to do this? Am I going to have a job? What is this world coming to? Well, it just goes endless. Right? And I'm at an age, not that I'm old. I told you I'm early old. I wake up in the morning and my knee hurts. And I'm so angry because I didn't do anything. I just slept. And it feels like I've been hiking up a mountain. What's up with that? That doesn't make any sense. But God Himself says, I have thoughts of peace and not of evil. In verse 12, you shall call upon me and shall go and pray to me, and I will hearken to you. It's the knocking thing. You knock, and God's going to answer the door. He says, again, these are words that Jeremiah is repeating from God. You shall seek me and find me when you shall search for me with all your heart. Now, these words apply to people that know God and people that don't know God. As people that know God, sometimes we think, okay, well, I got my ticket, I'll just go on, and we go about our business like nothing ever happened, and we don't learn the lessons. But it's the same lesson, which is, if you're feeling down, and you're not feeling spiritual, and you don't feel God, what should you do? The same thing you did when you got saved, which is what? You shall seek me and find me when you shall search for me when? All your hearts. It's that simple. But that's the hard part, isn't it? How hard is it for us to give all of our hearts? That's a tough one, isn't it? That's a tough one.
We have a lot of pride. We have a lot of fear.
So the question is, do you believe God or not? And the thing is let's say a person like myself, I've been saved 44 years. I've been down this road a long time with God. Like I told you, 4 years ago, I was called to preach. And most people, a lot of people, I will say a lot of people that are called to preach will fight God. Some of them will deny it for years and years. For me, I didn't fight him. Why? I've been walking with God for 40 years. In 40 years, you know what I learned? I'm never going to win a fight with God.
Amen.
Not one time will I ever win a fight with God. I've been doing that 40 years. Now, I'd be quite ignorant if I were to go, I'm not going to preach, I'm not going to do that, I'm not good enough. It don't matter if all those are true, it doesn't matter. He didn't ask me about that. He didn't ask Moses whether he could speak good enough. And Moses sinned because he wanted Aaron to help him. Even though it might have been true, it doesn't matter. God knows what needs to be done, not done, by who and when and how and whatsoever, whatever. So, I didn't fight God. What I did do was go, are we sure about this? Are we really sure that's what you want me to do? You know how I am. I will say anything, anywhere, anyhow, in front of anybody. I will just make a fool out of myself and be proud of it. You know how I am. So I wanted to make sure I got the message right. But I didn't fight it. Now, if you've been walking along with God a long time, when He tells you to do something, you're kind of silly if you just don't go with it. Because you're not going to win. Okay? So here we have Jeremiah telling us these things. Now let's go over to Exodus. And let's see. Exodus 14. And again, we're going to go through familiar sets of verses. In Exodus 14, this is after the Israelites have been captive of the Egyptians, and God tells Moses, "Hey, let's go. We're going to bring them out of there, right?" And so, now of course, Pharaoh didn't like this. It was free labor, so he didn't care for it. And a curious thing, I remember 40 plus years ago reading, as like I said, I come out of left field in all this, and I was like, what does that mean? What does this mean? What does it mean? I remember and I see things in the Bible, and I think, boy, that seems crazy. That doesn't make a lick of sense. And in this, one of the things that early on that didn't make sense to me was, go to Exodus 7 and verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hard and refused to let him go. And then if we look a little farther, it says that, let me pick it up, that in 8 and 19, 8 and 32, and then back into where we were, which is Exodus in 14, and let's see, 8, 14 and 8, we'll pick up there. Even though this is a process of things that happen. And 8, it says, and the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So it's like, as you remember the stories, as little children, you'd hear that Moses said, hey, we need to go. And Pharaoh said, you're not going anywhere. And then the plague would come, and Pharaoh would go, well, wait a second, let's think about this. And what did it say? It would harden his heart. He'd say, you're not going anywhere. And so what would happen then? Another plague would come. He'd go, well, this is pretty bad. And he'd say, maybe then God would what? Harden his heart. And I thought, well, how cruel is that? That seemed awful cold of God. And I thought, well, this doesn't seem like the God I know. I couldn't figure it out. It didn't make any sense, but it's very clear Pharaoh was leaning one way, and God hardened his heart, and bad things happened. And Pharaoh was leaning this way, and God hardened his heart, and bad things happened. Isn't that how it happened? No. And so I would think, what in the world? That doesn't seem like that. But what did I say last time in preliminaries? God honors the heart. That is both an encouragement and a warning. What was Pharaoh's heart? Not what his mind was. His mind said, I don't want these plagues. But what did his heart say? I don't want them going anywhere. And so when it says he hardened his heart, God just encouraged in his heart what he really wanted. Again, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, this is a warning. God will honor your heart. He honored Pharaoh's heart. So when it says he wasn't being mean to Pharaoh, he was just saying, is this what you want? This is what you're going to get. And these are the consequences. That is something we need to take to our heart. What do you really want? Do you want comfort? You want pleasure? You want money? You want health? Or do you really want spiritual things? Do you really want at the top of your priority list to be in sync with God. You get to choose. And God's going to honor us. You want a path to a wonderful, fulfilling life? There it is. There it is. It's real simple. And each of us that are saved, we learned that the day we got saved, didn't we? In our deepest heart, we desire God. So, in Exodus here, we see where God hardens his heart. And you can see it's verse 8. And it says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart. And 4, pardon me. And then in 8, and the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went by hand. So they're following. We all know this story. And Pharaoh drew nigh, and the Israel lifted up their eyes. Behold, the Egyptians marched after them. I mean, they were an army. They couldn't naturally defeat Pharaoh's army. And they knew it, and they were afraid. And why were they afraid? Because they didn't trust God. They didn't trust God. Not enough. And say verse 11. They said unto Moses, because they were, here it is. And let's take it to 10, sorry. And Pharaoh drew nigh, and the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid, the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. Now this, you gotta be careful what you say to God. Now God will take a little whining. We know that, from Jonah. Jonah was a whiner. Oh, they loved you. You were so kind. He was a whiner, and he kind of tolerated some of the whining, right? And he was a straight up whiner, and I don't think the Lord's going to strike me dead for saying that. But he was, because that's what's recorded. But you got to be careful about respect with God. You disrespectful to God, he's going to get you. He's going to get you. What did he tell Job? He said, gird up thy loins. Come here, buddy. You want me to tell you why? Come here. You know, it's like the old woodshed type of country thing. They said, we could have died back there. We could have had plenty of food. Later on, when they talk about manna, before they got to manna, they talked about this again. Oh, well, we don't have anything to eat. We could have been in Egypt and had food to eat, right? But he says, we're going to die in the wilderness. Why is God dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt? And then they're saying, we told you. They're in straight up rebellion. Let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians, for it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than we should to die in the wilderness. Now, brothers and sisters, is this true? Would you rather be in some God-forsaken place and comfortable, or would you rather be starving with God? I'd rather be anywhere with God.
Amen.
I have lived my life without God, and I have lived my life with God. When I was living without God, I never closed my eyes at night to go to sleep. I was 22 years old. In my whole life, I never, because I had grown up in fear and could not find comfort. Every single night of my life, I essentially passed out to go to sleep. Because I did not close my eyes. Because I didn't know what was going to happen if I closed my eyes. But every single night, I closed my eyes. Why? God is with me. Amen. God is with me. And so they're denying how great this is, aren't they? They're denying it. And Moses said to the people, fear ye not. What? Stand still. When your life is so messed up, and everything around you is just going crazy, listen to Moses. Stand still. See if you hear God. Quite often in our lives, it's a very faint voice that we hear from God. But it's still His voice. Jesus said that His children knew His voice. Just stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Moses stood still. He says, stand still. Let's see how God's going to get us out of this. That should be our attitude, right? I know it's tough. None of us gets out alive. None of us. But until then, and even, now here's the wonderful thing. What does David say? "O death, where is thy sting?" See, when a person dies, you're going to die one of two ways. One of them, in figurative terms, you're going to go across the Jordan. And the other, you're going to go kicking and screaming because it ain't good. You're going to hold on to life as hard as you can because there ain't nothing for you on that other side. Ain't nothing for you on that other side. So he says, fear not and see the salvation of the Lord, which He will show to you today. For the Egyptians who you have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. You're not going to do anything. God's going to do it for you. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speaking to the children of Israel that they go forward. He's not real happy here. He says, wherefore criest thou unto me? Why are these people saying these things? I'm right here. I want to take care of them. What's the deal here, right? And so, but lift up thy rod, stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go on dry land through the midst of the sea. Now I'm going to make a point which I think in this area you'll be you'll get just fine. I'm assuming everybody's seen Lake Erie, right? Big old body of water. And where I grew up, there's TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, and they flooded all this land. So there's lakes everywhere, and there's creeks everywhere because you got hollers, and it comes down through. There's creeks everywhere, water everywhere. And I like water, it's fine. I like creeks. I like water. I like the ocean. But I'm going to tell you, every water I've been around is kind of nasty. It's kind of nasty. In the creeks, if you go in the creek and there's pebbles, there's moss and there's slimy stuff on those little rocks. Now, if you go to the ocean, you get the seaweed, and you get this on you, and you get that on you. And if you go to Lake Erie, and I'm not going to say too much bad about it because you might take it personal, but I can't imagine it's any better than the lake that's a mile from my house. It can be nasty. I don't mean you can't enjoy it. But you want to wash yourself off after you've been in it, don't you? Now, here's the thing. What does this say? It doesn't say it just parted the water. It was dry land. Have you ever seen a lake or a river after a flood or when it's receding and the land that's there? That's the nastiest, gunkiest stuff you'll ever see, isn't it? Oh, it's slimy. You step in it, you squish around. But that's not what they did they? It is phenomenal for me to imagine there's a sea and it parts. That's cool, right? But what impresses me is that dry land. I mean, we could come up with some force field. I mean, I like science fiction. There's force field somewhere that could push the water up, right? Not saying it wasn't a miracle. Not saying that. I'm just saying that's one thing. But I don't know of anything in any literature or any thought that says just like that slimy gunk is now dry land. That is something. It is power, but also, what is it? It is a great blessing from God because He made a path, and not only did He make a path, He could could have pushed the waters off and he go, well, y'all going to have to walk through this. He didn't do that. Why? God is so good.
Amen.
Isn't he? He not only pushed the waters, he gave them dry land. And if you have faith in God, if you love God, if your heart's desires for God, God will give you some dry land too. I was saying that when we die and we go across the Jordan, I guarantee you that will be dry land we're stepping across into the next world. Because that's God's way. God has patterns and ways of how He does things. And all these things, if we stop and listen and see and read and let Him tell us, we just see wonderful things on top of wonderful things on top of wonderful things. And if we stop and stand still and even reflect on our lives and say, oh my gosh, you know, I almost got killed that day. Some fool come over my lane and whatever, and somehow that God might have been part of that. He might have stopped that car just a fraction of a second. Which goes back to tolerance. And so we see that he says it's on dry land. We go forward and it says, I came between, and so then it talks about how that God was between them. It says, verse 19, and the angel of God, which had been before the camp of Israel, moved and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. So God was putting a barrier between them and their enemy. God does that for us, whether we realize it or not. He gets between. That's something we should realize, something we should appreciate, we should be thankful for as we talk to God, as we do all these things. We should see that He does this for us. And so through this, He has given us opportunity. And again, most things in my mind, right or wrong, in my mind, when we read about things, it applies both to us that know God and us that don't know God. The same lesson. Because God is God. And what did it say? What was God's desire? Of peace. He loves all of mankind, and His desire is for them to come. Jesus, when He talks about the sheep, the lost sheep, and there's 99, there's one gets away, who does He go after? He goes after that one. Come on. And again, that applies to both those who know God and those who don't know God. If you get out of sorts and you wander off the path, God's going to come looking for you. And we know these people. We've talked about how our churches don't have the same number of people they did before COVID. I guarantee you God still deals with them. I will sometimes talk to a person that does something like that, and I will look them straight in the eye and I say, you're never going to convince me it doesn't bother you. Because I know who you are. Because me and you have something in common. I heard you tell about what happened to you. So I know that God deals with you just like He deals with me. So God makes opportunities for it. So the encouragement I hope you get out of this is as you go through hard times in your life. And again, that has nothing to do with how old or young you are, because life is hard at every single age. You take a 2-year-old and they're playing with a toy, and you snatch it out of their hand, boy, it breaks their heart, don't it? That's like their world just died. Well, they hurt too. We all hurt. We all have burdens. We all have trials in life. But the encouragement is God is with us. The moment you got saved, God made you a promise. He made you promises. He says, you're going to come with me. I'm going to strive with you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to put a hedge around you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to tolerate you. I'm going to put up with you. I'm going to give you things to do.
No.
And so the question is, do we embrace this? Or do we fight? My hope and my prayer is for me, as well as you, to embrace it. To embrace it. That's what we need to do. I'm done. I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. I truly appreciate that y'all allowed me to do it. It's quite an honor, and it's quite a blessing. Anything we want to do or say before